Hey everyone, today is a super exciting day as we get to show off clutch number 1 now that they have finished shedding and I get them into their own bins. So stick around. I'm Jack and you're watching Python Addiction. Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. So today's going to be a show off of clutch number 1 as they have all completely shed out, as you can see from this overhead video here. So they are all absolutely beautiful in my opinion. We ended up hitting the bullseye on a couple of the babies with getting visual pieds out of this particular pairing, so I'm super excited. Callie, the mother, is again a pastel yellow belly, orange dream, and Enchi girl that is also 100% het for pied. And since she was a first-time breeder, I can actually now mark her as that's 100% guaranteed. She is now proven. So I know that those particular genes are in there, all except for the Enchi, based off from this particular clutch. I don't see anything that's showing the Enchi gene in there. So she could just be Orange Dream and not Enchi in the mix. And the reason for that is Orange Dream sometimes presents like Enchi does. So it's one of those, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. But I'll keep an eye on things for future pairings, and if I do see Enchi coming into the mix, then I know that it is actually there, and we just didn't get it with this particular clutch. So I'm going to show off these guys a little bit more in depth as we switch over to the overhead view here. And we will start right off with one of the pieds. Absolutely stunning baby. I love what Orange Dream does with all of the extra oranges on here. And you get to see some of the yellow belly going right through. So this is a yellow belly Orange Dream pied. And absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. I mean, the oranges are just absolutely a stunning thing with the pied in how Orange Dream works with the pied. Absolutely beautiful. And we'll switch over to the front so you guys can see it this way as well. And we'll put them right in focus. Absolutely beautiful baby. And we're going to switch back over. I am going to check to see what the gender is on this one. Now I normally try to pop sometimes. I'll wait a couple of meals to see, but they're still good enough here. If I can pop them, I will. And see. Oh, this is a boy right off the bat. I don't know if you guys saw that, but there's one of the hemipenes right there. This is a baby boy. So a yellow belly, Orange Dream, pied boy. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So what I've got are their cage cards already set up using Husbandry.pro. Since I'm gendering at the same time with these, I'm going to mark it on here and then I'll update it in Husbandry.pro afterwards. But he will go into a already established clean tub. And the tub, I keep it very Spartan. I just use the VE6 racks for all of my hatchlings. So I use the 11 quart tubs for all of my ball pythons. I could get away with using the smaller tubs to start out with, but then I'd be changing them very quickly because these guys will start putting on a little bit of weight as they get their first meals in the next couple of days. So I don't find it any reason to start out any smaller than the 11 quart size tubs. And I use just paper towel as the substrate to start out with. These have all shed out, as you could see the sheds in the overview side of things, but I still like to just keep an eye on them as far as that goes, so I keep it very clean in that regards. I'll put in little water dishes. I actually use these little ramekins here. I get them right off from Amazon in the 24 count. They're like $30. They're not that expensive, and they're heavy enough and flat bottomed to stay right in there. They normally don't tip them over that often, and they work really easy for those bins to keep water in there. And then I'll toss in a small hide or something like that, depending on how they react while in there. Sometimes they like the hide, sometimes they don't. So it's one of those things that I pick and choose based off from their actual reaction. So I'm going to put him into his bin and we'll move on to the next one. And I am back, and we're going to move right on to the next one. So next one, I'm going to do the other pied. Pick this little boy up, or girl, not sure yet. You're intertwined between all of them. And you wonder why they call them ball pythons. I mean, the ball balling right up all. It's just adorable. That is absolutely adorable to see them all balled up like that. Alright, you guys can kind of see it this way. Maybe we'll get him or her to stick their head out. There we go. Yeah. Whole little bundle of joy here. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Well, okay. Do you want to hang on to my finger? Well, you got to go over here. And we'll look at this next one. Here we go here. Again, very similar markings. No kinking or anything in the actual spine. So very, very healthy baby. Shed out absolutely perfectly. And that's one of the things that I like to do when it comes to allowing all of my babies to shed, is I leave them right in the incubator. I put them, once they've all come out of their eggs, I put them onto some paper towel that I've doused down with just some water, and I put them right back into the incubator. And I find that I get absolute perfect first sheds that way, and I don't have any other issues. And then it allows me to put each of these guys into their new little enclosures, and they normally take to food pretty quickly. So what I normally start feeding when it comes to food for all of my new hatchlings is either small mice that are like hoppers. I try frozen thawed first because I'd rather have them get right on to frozen thawed, but if they refuse, I'll do a live. I'll also attempt to do pinky rats, and I also have done ASFs that are small hoppers as their first few meals. The ASF I try to keep as a last resort, as sometimes they get stuck on them. And I know in some regions, in some areas, ASF are not as prevalently available for people to be able to use as feeders. So I don't like to get any of my babies that, especially that I'm going to be selling, to get stuck on that. But if it's the only thing they'll eat, it's the only thing they'll eat. I do what is right for the animal, and that's the name of the game there. If somebody can't get a hold of ASF to try to feed them, then I kind of look for a different person to purchase them. All of my personal collection, I have one that prefers ASFs, but otherwise most of my collection will eat pretty much anything that I give them, which is really nice. Other than a couple of mine that are picky and prefer live only. And that's another thing that I try not to encourage or promote in with my breeding and with my feeding, but it's something that I do have to do on occasion. But let's go back to the overhead here again. Absolutely beautiful. And while we have this one out, we will see if this is a boy or a girl. So far, none of these guys are being feisty or anything like that, which is absolutely fantastic. And as you can see when I go through, I'm going to try to pop it right on camera here so you guys can kind of see how I go through and roll it. And you got to be very gentle with this, especially when they're young. This one, no hemipenes. No hemipenes. So this one is probably a girl. I will wait until she's gotten a couple of meals into her to confirm without a doubt. But it looks like I got one boy and one girl out of this mix. So I am going to put on her card female with a question mark. And you're probably wondering why the question mark. Sometimes they can fool you. And it's easier to just put a question mark and then go back and double check a little bit later down the road after they've had a couple of meals to just double check. And if I have to, I'll also probe, which is using a metal probe that's got a bulb on the end to actually, I lube it up and then I'll stick it down into the cloaca to probe to see how many scales down to see if there's the hemipene shaft or if there is not. And that is generally how a vet would actually go through and gender your snake if you were to take your snake to a vet to have them gendered, is they will use a probe kit to do it. Most of us that breed are comfortable enough for, in the most part, to just pop them very gently. If it's something that you're not used to doing or have never done before, I suggest actually talking to a local breeder. Go to one of your reptile shows or something like that. Have them show you how to actually pop. And that's the best, one of the best ways to learn, because you want to be very careful, because you do risk the chance of bending it back too much and damaging their spine if you're not careful. But we have a baby girl here. Again, absolutely gorgeous. She's got a little halfway smile on her side here. No eyes, but just a little smiley face there. Absolutely beautiful, but she's also a orange dream and yellow belly as well. And you're probably wondering how I'm telling the yellow belly, and that's more the head that's giving me the yellow belly look versus the very distorted pattern, but the orange that's in there for the orange dream to tell me that there's both genes in that mix. So I'm going to put her into a bin and we'll move right on to the next one. Going right back to the overhead, we've got someone that's trying to escape here. So we will pull you out next. Another absolutely beautiful baby. This is Orange Dream and Yellow Belly. Orange Dream and Yellow Belly. That orange all the way through, along with the yellow belly markers on with the flaming on the sides. Absolutely beautiful. And there's a good flame representation right there on the side. So Yellow Belly and Orange Dream and this baby here. And we will pop to see what they are. So let's zoom out a little bit so you guys can see me better here. And once again, I'm being very gentle here. Don't turn. And trying to roll my thumb to see if I can roll the hemipenes, if there are hemipenes. No hemipenes popping up on this, so another girl. So Orange Dream and Yellow Belly and this girl. Absolutely beautiful little girl. Yeah, look at you. So we will fill her card out. And when it comes to me doing the initial cards, I plug everything into Husbandry.pro, and I reuse some of my cards and put the new sticker on there with them. And we're going to put female on here. And they just start out very generic with their clutch ID and sequential number. So this is 2024, so I started out with 2024. This is clutch number 1, and then we're looking at number 3 here. And then I'll actually go through after words and print out updated stickers to go on each of these that actually have what their genetics are on there, and that'll all be recorded in Husbandry.pro. So it's all there, so anybody that gets any of my animals, they can have all of that history. They can see who the parents were. They can see what the genetics are. When I list things on Morph Market, I list all of the babies for that clutch on Morph Market, so you can see examples of the other siblings that were in the clutch. All good ways to track and look at the differences for each of the animals that I produce. But another beautiful baby. She's going to go into her new enclosure, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, we're 3 down and 3 left to go. So like I said, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and little bits and pieces for shed number 6. So all of them shed out perfectly fine. And let's go with this one right here. This one is just a pastel by the looks of it. Beautiful pastel. Might actually have some yellow belly in it from some of the flaming and the marking on the sides. Maybe. Definitely pastel though, because you can see the blushing on the head. That's a dead giveaway for the pastel, but some of that marking on the side here definitely. Oh yeah, this is also, it could either be yellow belly or it could also be the pied, the 100% het pied that all of these are. So there's that chance as well, because it's got a lot of that variation there. But I'm guessing that this probably also has yellow belly in there as well, because that's a very crazy pattern for a pastel otherwise. So absolutely beautiful baby. Oh, you're a little feisty one. You're a little feisty one. Yeah. And we're going to see another tall tale sign that you can tell that a pastel is involved is if you look very, very closely. Maybe it will show up on camera, maybe it won't. The green in her eyes. There it goes. Her eyes are green, and that green tint or color tone in the eyes is a dead giveaway that pastel is there, and that's a good way to see pastel in some morphs is by seeing that green in the eye. It's not always true, but it's definitely one of those signatures that's there and present many of the times. So let's go gender and see what this one might be. Let me see your tail, baby. Very carefully roll. And we have hemipenes. This is a boy. This is a baby boy. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. So we will fill out his card. Put mail on there. You ready to go to your new home? Yeah. No more needing to be feisty. Yeah. And I am back again. So we are down to 2. Let's go with this one. This one. Oh, you got me. You feisty little one. You got me. You got me. Oops. Yep, I boopsed you. This one looks like a normal. Or possibly, no, just orange stream. Just orange stream. Either normal or orange. It's a little hard. It got a little bit of the possible orange stream markings on here. But otherwise, I think it's probably just a normal from looking at it. But this will be a normal het pied baby, and let's see. What we have for gender. Oh, come on, baby. You can't be moving all around. I gotta check your gender. No hemipenes. This is a baby girl. This is a baby girl. So a baby girl normal that is 100% het pied. Yeah, baby girl. Yeah. Call you a little feisty girl. Yeah. So we will fill out her card and then move on to the last one. So I'm going to put her into her new home. Show her off here on the camera here real quick. Even though she's just a normal, still absolutely beautiful. Nice pattern. Has a little bit of a baby attitude with her, the being a little bit feisty. But she'll get handled regularly and be perfectly fine. So there we go with number 5. And last but not least will be baby number 6 here. Now this is what we call a mixer in my realm. This will be pastel, yellow belly, and the orange dream. So this will be pastel, yellow belly, orange dream. And you can tell again with the pastel, with the head being nice and faded out a little bit there, but with that yellow belly definitely in the mix, because you got all of that extra flaming up to the sides, and then the oranges that just pop right through with the orange dream. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And once again, this is 100% het for the piebald. So anything, if you paired this with another pied, you would get like what we did for this pairing. You would have that chance at getting pieds. And this is one of the nifty things when you look at the het markers for pied. This is what is like a start of a little bit of a ringer right there. Oh, you're fine. You don't need to try to bite me. And let's see the gender on this one. I am going to guess possibly female, if she lets me actually check. Oh, come on, you gotta let me check. Let me check. I know. Oh, come on. No hemipenes. This is, in fact, a girl. So another healthy baby girl. Almost like mom. Almost like mom. Here's a quick picture of mom again, Callie. She's got the inchy in her that you can really see with her markings. But otherwise, this is almost a dead ringer for mom. So almost a dead ringer for mom. Very beautiful little girl. Yes, you are. Look at you. Yeah. And we'll bring her to the other camera here for you guys to see. On this side, absolutely beautiful girl. Let's get my face out of the mix so the camera will focus on her. Absolutely beautiful. So there we have it. We have an absolutely healthy clutch of 6 babies out of the mix here, with a few boys and a few girls. Looks like I'm girl heavy here. 4 girls to 2 boys. So that's actually pretty good. There's that one that I am going, the other piebald that I am going to double check in a few weeks after they've gotten a few meals in them, to just make sure that she is actually a girl. Just because I'm with popping her, it looked fine as far as female, but I like to double check on some of those. But absolutely beautiful clutch. I'm going to put her off into her little bin, get them their water bowls in there, and they will get their first meals offered later this week. And I will feed my babies. I start off for the first few feedings once every 5 days, and then once they've gotten a few meals into them, I'll move to once to every 7 days from there. I typically wait for like 3 or 4 feedings, and then I move to once every week from there. And as long as they eat, normally that's the point that they become available, is once they've gotten at least like 5 to 6 meals into them. That's when I normally make them available. So if you're interested in any of these, you can keep an eye on Morph Market. If you're a Patreon member, I will actually list when these become available there first, so you can get a heads up notice when they become available if you're a Patreon member. Otherwise, if you guys like this video, please do hit that thumbs up. That lets me know that you like this type of stuff. And if you have any comments or anything like that on what I showed off today, please do put your comments in the comment section below. I read all of the comments every single week, and I try my best to reply to every one of you. A couple of other quick updates before I close out for today. Clutch number 2. I will not be doing a live cutting for that, as I did end up losing the entire clutch as they all molded out, unfortunately. So I'm a little sad on that for clutch number 2, but clutch number 3 will be coming up probably within the next week or so. So make sure that you're subscribed and you have your notifications turned on, as that will let you know when I actually am going to be doing that live stream, as clutch number 3 looks perfectly healthy. It's coming along great, so I will be doing that cut. They are technically due on the 17th as their due date, so I'm going to be checking in between the 14th, 15th, 16th. I mean, I'm starting to check on them all right now, but I'll be checking on them daily starting probably on the 10th, and then move from there every single day. So once I start seeing pips, that's when I'll start getting everything scheduled for their live cutting. So stay tuned to that. But until next time, I love you all. I'm Jack, and you've been watching Python Addiction.